Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Health Coach for Women. Today, what I like to talk to you about is how we can 10x our health in 2022. Yes, family, sisters, friends, we can do this in 2022. Okay, we definitely can work on doing that. And so I want to go over a few topics, a few different things that we can do to 10x our health, right, for this year. And so 11 ways on how you can 10x your health. Well, what's the first thing? The first thing that we need to do is to commit, to make that decision, right? That's the first thing. Number one is decide. That's the number one. I said commit, but that's actually number two. But number one is is to decide that we want to really make a radical change in our health. And so now we know that our health is wealth right now. It's valued more than ever right now. So the first thing is making a decision. And making a decision is being decisive and knowing that this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to judge myself too harshly or when I may not come through, right? Because there's going to be days when you may not come through for yourself. It happens. It does happen. So don't judge yourself harshly on that. The point is to decide to move forward towards in this year to really make a real change in our health. That's number one. The second thing is to commit. So we have to show up for ourselves. We have to be there for ourselves, and to get the results that we want, we got to show up, right? So meaning that we have to commit to what we say we want to do. And so how do we make that commitment? How do we just say, okay, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to really make a change in how I manage my habits as far as my eating, my lifestyle, making these new lifestyle changes. It's just taking it one day at a time. That's the simple, short answer, is to just take it one day at a time. And so once you've made the decision, okay, you can probably set up a little schedule for yourself. It doesn't mean that you're going to always follow through with it, but I find that when you write stuff down, it kind of helps you a little bit more in following through with it. And you have to get that motivation. You have to be motivated, and you have to have the desire to want to do it, right? So commit to it. Commit to it, whatever it is, commit to whatever. And this is not just for in your health. This is just with anything, in anything that you desire, you have to make that commitment. So commit to what it is that you want to do when you're dedicating yourself to improve your health. And sometimes it can be rough, right? And especially if you're not one who really enjoy working out or you enjoy certain foods, it can be a challenge. But it's not impossible. It can be done. You can do it, right? So just make a commitment. So number one is to decide. Number two is to commit. The third thing is to eat more plant-based foods. Buy some more fresh fruits and vegetables, right? And so I know some things may not be in season, so just find the fruits and things that you like and find more fresh vegetables. Now, when you're making your purchases on your fruits and vegetables, particularly if they're organic food, you definitely want to buy for that week or for that period of time, because you don't want to buy fresh fruits and vegetables and you're not going to use them until maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. They're not going to be any good anymore. They're going to start to go bad. So you want to use it within the first 2 or 3 days. You want to try to quickly use when you're buying the fresh fruits and vegetables. All right, so eat more plant-based foods. If you like baby spinach, you don't have to cook them. You can add them to your salad. You can add them to your meals fresh the way they are. You don't even have to cook it. You don't even have to cook it. You can just add it to your meals. Or if you want to lightly saute it, and you don't even need oil for it, you can lightly saute it in some oil. Just cover the pan on a medium flame and lightly cover the flame have it cover the pan on with a medium flame and with a little water, and you can saute it and it'll be fine. You don't have to cook spinach for that long. It'll to have its own, spring its own water. And plus the little, you can put like a little tablespoon of water. You don't have to put much, just use your judgment. Okay. So, and you definitely want to, if you can, you definitely want to reduce the amount of oils that you're using in your food. You definitely want to go ahead and do that. You can use a little bit, but you want to use as little as possible. Right? Okay, so eat more plant-based foods. And I have my little cheat sheet here to make sure I cover all the topics. Reduce your carb intake. Reduce your carb intake. So instead of having white bread, maybe just, you probably want to go with more sprouted bread, whole grains. Okay. You want to go ahead and avoid that. If you can reduce or avoid the carbs or low carbs, it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So that's why there's not always the one way or one size fit all, but we know that carbs, when you consume a lot of carbs, that it will help add the weight, right? And it spikes your blood sugar. So reduce your carb intake. All right. So instead of the white rice or white bread, you might want to try some quinoa, or, maybe just have some vegetables, add some vegetables and fruits and vegetables. Again, it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. Are you looking for weight loss? Are you trying to just get fit? There's not a one size fit all. But generally speaking, if you want to get healthier, you definitely want to have more plant-based foods, more fruits and vegetables, right? And lower carbs, more protein, lower carbs, all right? And avoiding all those white breads and things like that, and those bagels. Oh, they're the worst. So avoiding all of those things. Now, another thing is, I mentioned the vegetables. You mean your broccoli and things like that. You may want to just boil or steam them rather than putting them in the oil or doing something like that. You want to go ahead and just probably boil it or steam it. Steaming your vegetables is a good way to really retain those nutrients. You can boil them, but you don't want to boil them for too long. So it just depends on what it is that you are preparing, what it is that you're making. Right, so let's do that. Water, we definitely need to drink more water. We have to stay hydrated. And so instead of going for that soda, that ginger ale, which ginger ale may seem helpful, but it does contain all those carbonated drinks, have a lot of sugar. So you definitely want to switch out your carbonated drinks to try some water. Have some lemon water, right? Have some lemon or lemon and orange slices. You have some citrus water. You can put that in your water if you like. And that's awesome. That's great for the summertime too. Particularly in the summertime. You can just add your lemon in the water if you want somewhat lemon water, or just plain old water, right? Just plain old water. Drink more water. Some people don't really like water. They don't even like the taste of it. Well, it depends on which your water is, because I know the tap water doesn't always have the greatest taste, right? Because it has the chlorine and the fluoride to kind of filter out the germs and everything in the water. So get some spring water, try that. Drink more water. The key is to just drink more water, period. Staying hydrated, particularly with water. Okay. And another thing is exercise. So so far we have number one is decide, making that decision that you're going to, that you want to be healthy, making that decision. Number two is to commit. Number three is eating more plant-based foods. And I just want to recap it as I'm going along. Avoiding the processed foods, right? Avoiding processed foods. That was number four. I don't know, I might have skipped that. I think I did. Yep. And I had my cheat sheet and I skipped. Okay. So number five is avoiding processed foods, right? Avoiding those processed foods. You definitely want to stay away from that. All right. And so they're not good for you. I'll just put it just like that. It's just not good for you. Um, and number 6 was boiling or steaming your vegetables, right? Which I've already discussed. And number 7 was to drink more water. If you can drink some filtered water, spring water, even if you don't have, if you just have tap water, you may want to look into getting a filter. But if you can't, you drink water, right? You just drink water, drink more water. And exercise, doing some form of movement daily, committing to doing some form of exercise, because it's not, getting healthy is not just one thing, right? And we know this, it's not just one thing, because what we're doing is doing things that's going to help nourish our mind, body, as well as our spirit, right? And so those things are all connected. And so what happens when we exercise more, we feel better, right? We feel better when we exercise. Okay. And so I'm not a exercise buff. I'm not one to say, oh, I gotta go to the gym and I have to work out. I'm not even a fan of exercising all the time. And that's to be quite honest, but I know it's what I need for my body. I know it's what I need for my body. And it'll help you, give you that energy. It'll help you feel more flexible, right? It'll give you that flexibility. It'll strengthen you, right? It'll help strengthen your body. You're able to do more. You can have, be able to lift more, right? So all of the exercise has a lot of benefits, and it really helps with the brain as well. It helps with the brain. So exercising is a good way, and to get rid of those achy joints, right? Those stiff muscles, that's because you need to move more. All right, you need to move more. And so the other thing, number 9, is supplements. Supplements. And so for those who don't really like fruits, like a lot of fruits, or have certain allergies or allergic to certain fruits, you can still find a way to get those nutrients that you need through supplements, right? And so again, it just depends. And I mentioned before about, I have a friend that used to love bananas. She used to eat bananas. Now she can't eat them anymore. Her throat tightens up and everything, so she can't eat them. My mom, she has certain fruits she can't eat. It makes her tongue itch. So certain things, what we used to could eat before, as we get older, we can't eat them anymore for whatever reason. Not really sure of the cause of that. It's just our body just can't take certain things. Could some things be related to, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure, possibly, the food and how it's grown, if it's not organic, or pesticides. That's why it's important to wash your fruits and vegetables. You can wash them in vinegar. So the next thing I want you to, and this one is very important. So number 9 was supplements. Number 10 is to schedule your yearly checkup. This is important, guys. Schedule your yearly checkup, right? And so what I'm saying to you is what I'm doing myself. I'm not just telling you something that I'm not doing myself, right? And so I already had my vision appointment. I already had that, had my eyes dilated, and I went and had my vision checked. So everything, I'm not 20/20, don't have 20/20 vision, but I do have my prescription for my glasses. So get those eyes checked. And you know what? And it's important because they're finding out now too that there's things that you can tell just by looking at a person's eyes as well. And so it's just like when you see this, when you know that someone has a problem with their liver, and they have the yellow eyes, the yellowing of the eyes, right? And so that's a sign of some type of thing going on with the liver. And so it's the same thing. They can check for certain things in the eyes. There's a thing called chirpy. I forgot what it stands for, but when you have that in both eyes, they say that that's connected to colon cancer. So it's very important to get these things done. So you just never know. We don't think about certain things. Oh, your eyes, yeah. No, you need to get your eyes checked, just like you go and get your yearly checkup for your physical. Get your eyes checked as well. And that also goes for your dental. That goes for your dental. And so if you have some type of issues going on with your mouth, or if you have like the mercury fillings and things like that, you want to look into really getting rid of those, right? And you want to look into getting rid of those. Those things are toxic. So getting it, and they can also, when you go too long with some type of dental infection, that can get into your bloodstream as well. So that's why it's important to get these things done, get them checked regularly. Okay. And even if you don't have insurance, even if you don't have health insurance, there's these clinics that they have through the city or the state or whatever. I forget. But, they have those clinics where you can have, you can probably, okay, that's what I was going to say. The dental schools, they can offer you low cost because there are students who are learning and things like that. They can actually do your exams. Okay, so you can still get in with their supervisor, not doing it on their own. So don't freak out because I said they're students. Okay, so they're actually students who are with a professional, with a trained professional that will help you to examine your mouth, right, and clean your teeth and all of that stuff. So we can't make excuses because you don't have insurance and things like that. We can still get things done that we need to get done. It's very important. And so getting your eyes checked, getting your yearly cleaning visit to the dentist, as well as your physical checkup, right? So with your physical checkup, you definitely want to go ahead and get that squared away. Have them check all your levels, right? For your hormones, for your thyroid, your vitamin D levels, your magnesium. These things are important, right? These things are very important. That we need for the body. We need that. And doing these things and taking supplements which is number 9, taking supplements is a good way to boost that if you're not getting enough nutrients in your food. And so that's where supplements can come in, but you will definitely want to pick the right supplements. You want to avoid all the things that has those fillers in. How do you know that? Well, you only know by just trying to read the label, right? And so you want to go for the non-GMO, soy-free, gluten-free, if you have those allergies or whatever, or it's best to have those because they're better than the other ones, right? And so you want something that's organic, GMO-free, gluten-free, soy-free, no fillers. Just take the time to read the labels. And so that's what you want to do. So schedule those checkups. It's very important to have those done. What is another checkup I wanted to make sure that I covered with you guys? I mentioned, you're checking your thyroid, your vitamin D, your levels and things like that. Just checking, get a full panel of blood work, just to make sure. You may not even know you may be allergic to things. Get a test for an allergy test, a food allergy test done. Get that done. Maybe you may notice that sometimes you break out with little rashes or something like that, and you may not even realize that it could be connected to something that you're eating, right? It could be something that you possibly, or maybe something that you're putting on your skin or whatever. So it's important to get those things done. Schedule your checkups. And the last one this one is very important. Practicing your self-care. Practicing self-care, guys. This is important. And so we get into the habit of go, right? Being on a go, having to run, doing this, doing that. And we don't take the time out for ourselves just to take a break and put ourselves on pause, right? Just put ourselves on pause for a moment. And we always find ourselves just doing things. And we have to be more attentive to ourselves, just as we are attentive to our children, our family members, or at work. We have to be more attentive to ourselves as well. So what are some of those things that we can do for self-care? What are some of those self-care practices, right? And so just taking time. One thing is taking time to breathe, right? taking some moments for relaxation and to just simply breathe, taking a few deep breaths, taking a few deep breaths. I'm saying it slowly so I don't get tongue tied, because I find myself getting tongue tied sometimes. So taking a few moments to just breathe. And that's one of the things that'll help you even lower your stress levels and reduce your anxiety. Doing something like that, just taking a moment to just breathing. And another thing we can do, what is giving ourselves some affirmations, setting our mindset, setting our intentions for the day with a positive attitude, waking up with gratitude and being thankful, and making this a part of your everyday practice. To practice self-care daily. It's not something, oh, I'm going to do self-care on Saturday when I get my hair and nails done. Yeah, but during the week, you need to get that during the week too, which not saying you're getting your hair and nails done all during the week. What I'm saying is practicing that self-care by getting up, setting your intentions for the day, speaking words of affirmation, and is to empower you for the day, and getting your mind right, and just putting yourself in that frame of mind before you go to work or whatever it is that you have to do for the day. And so because things are so stressful, right? Things could be stressful and hectic, or maybe you're homeschooling the kids, whatever it is. Before you even get the kids up, maybe you need that moment for yourself to just, for you. It can be, you have to set your own schedule. You know what your daily routine is like. So maybe it could be a few minutes before you wake up and get the kids ready, or maybe it's after putting them once they're in bed, or you can do both, right? Just setting that little bit of time, 10 to 15 minutes, just for you, for yourself. It makes a difference. It really makes a difference. And so, when I was taking care of my mom, I had to create my own routine. And my mom, thankfully, and she's still alive and well, I had to create my own little routine. And it was before I tended to her, I got up and I did my prayer as well as my meditation, and did my exercise before I started my day of taking care of my mother. And so this is what we have to do. Before we take care of anyone else, we need to take care of ourselves. And this is because if we are no good for ourselves, how can we be good for anyone else? You may show up in a way where you're doing what you need to do, but mentally, all the different thoughts and things and going on through your head, and stress and energy levels, it can take effect. It can have a negative impact on our bodies. And so we need to always be in a positive mindset so that we can go carry out through our day. And it helps. It helps when the unexpected comes. It helps us to be able to deal with it in a way that is not damaging to ourselves and those around you. Okay, so that's important. So those are all of the 11 ways of how you can 10x your health. You can do it. You have to, again, I'll go over them again. One is to decide, make the decision that this is what you want to do. Then once you make that decision, commit to it, do the work. And yeah, well, you have days when you don't want to do it and you may skip a day or two. It'll happen. So it'll happen. Don't judge yourself too hardly on that. It's just getting back in there and doing it. The only way the change is going to happen is unless you make the change. So you have to commit to it, right? You have to commit to it. Eat more plant-based foods. Avoiding processed foods, and boiling or stewing our vegetables, right? So eat more plant-based foods, which is number 3. Number 4 is reduce your carb intake. Number 5, avoid processed foods. 6 is boil or steam your veggies. As 7 was drink more water. Exercise, that's important. That's number 8. 10 is schedule your yearly checkups. Get that done. That's important. And 11 is self-care. And here's a bonus, which I actually should have added in here. Commit to doing a fast at least once or twice a year. And it's a great way to reset the body. It's a great way to reset the body. I should have added that in there, but fasting, right? So we'll make that number 12. Bonus number 12, fasting. And what that does is detoxifies the body. It cleanses out your system, right? Removing all those impurities. And we could talk about different types of fasting. There's different types of fasting, but I won't discuss at this time because there's different type of fasting for different things. But anyway, that is all I have for you on this episode. Also, if you are interested in getting a meal plan, having a specific meal plan for you to help you on your journey to wellness, and you want to 10x your health, you may want a meal plan. You may need a starting point. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Health Coach for Women. You can visit my website, healthcoachforwomen.com. You can send me an email, info@healthcoachforwomen.com. Or send me a chat on Instagram as well. I'll be happy to help. And please, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye for now.